Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, big topic today, Kyle Rittenhouse. So we are about to dive into this. There's gonna be a ton of disclaimers and stuff in a moment, but this was a highly requested video and we're gonna get into that and figure out what it is we need to know about this. So, first, I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos, we take a look at the tea with the tarot. These videos, oh God, the Justice card is literally on the bottom as I'm saying that right now. So not planned. Okay, the tea with the tarot. These videos are always meant to be helpful, not hateful. So, if you're down with that, join the family here. We'd love to have you. And in addition to subscribing and tapping that notification bell, you can become a member of the Perk Squad for 5 extra perks, including exclusive video content and shout outs like this one. Shout out to you, Belly. I know that you were a big proponent of making this request for this video. So shout out to you and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Hopefully this video will make you feel like it meets what you were hoping for from your request. I don't know how this is going to go or where this is going to go. So we will see. But thank you for being a part of the Perk Squad, Belly. Big hugs to you. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and pull up the cards here and move this microphone, right chair. So, as I get shuffled up here, I just want to reiterate that this is all alleged, just my interpretation, okay? All alleged, just my interpretation, alrighty? And here's the dealio, okay? As y'all know, I try to be respectful as possible on this channel. I try to be sensitive to all different kinds of things on this channel. And so this is one of those readings that I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do a reading on this. I'm not so sure this intimidates me. I don't think I should. But y'all also know that I have various processes that I do where I connect with my spirit guides and I basically throw it to them on should I or should I not read on this. And I was continually getting a yes, I should, which was confusing to me on this. But I think what I'm going to do, because they said yes, I should, I think what I'm going to do is throw it completely over to them. What I mean by that is people have requested, like, these are the questions people have been asking me when they're DMing me and stuff about me reading on this. People have been asking, was this actually done out of self-defense or not? Is this man I don't even know if I can say the words, okay, you know the words. There's one word, white, and then S is the next word. White-ist. I don't know that I'm allowed to say that on here. People are asking, was this trial fair versus not fair? People were asking, is this politicized or not? And all these big questions about it. And I think that I don't feel like I'm gonna deliberately go into this asking those nitty gritty questions, because some of those questions, I don't even know if it's my place to look into that or ask or say necessarily. And so that's a hard balance to play. This is not an easy thing to do without, you do one way, you piss off a crowd, you do another way, you piss off another crowd. There's not a lot of ways to do this that could be sensitive to everybody. So what I thought would be the best way to go about this is, if my spirit guides are saying yes, do this reading, then there must be some reason why they want me to do this reading or think it would be okay to do this reading, in which case there might be something that they want to say or share about this that they feel like we should know. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and my only question for this reading is, Spirit Guides, why did you want me to do this reading? What is it that you're trying to get me to share with people? What is it that you're wanting people to know? What is it that we are allowed to know that you're wanting shared and you're wanting out there? And we're going to do that. That is the question about this that we're going to take a look into and just figure out why and what is it that they're showing. And wherever that takes this is wherever that takes this. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lean on that and trust them in this. Okay? Alrighty. So, all the disclaimers in the world here. Okay? All the disclaimers in the world. I understand that this is sensitive and complicated. Okay? Lots of layers, lots of dimensions here. And I'm not trying to impede how important that is, and just respect, okay? I'm giving respect here as best as I can. Alrighty, so what is it that we're meant to know? What is it that you're wanting to share? What is it that you're wanting to get across? Why is it that you're wanting me to do this? The table is yours, Spirit Guides. The table is yours. Okay. Let's see what we're getting here. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's get a little bit of context on this one here. And on this one over here. And on this one over here. Okay. So, just going through what they're giving me. Again, just going through what they're giving me. Try not to be freaked out about doing this one today. So, Queen of Swords in reverse. This is like a lot of confusion surrounding this. A lot of confusion surrounding this case, surrounding this person, surrounding these circumstances. With the Seven of Swords in reverse and context card, Queen of Pentacles on top of this. This is saying that there's a lot of people out here that don't know what the hell is going on and how the hell they should take this. So what we're seeing a lot, like on the news, for example, is some outlets being very opinionated about it this way and some outlets being very opinionated about it this way on the polar opposites. But what this is saying is that a lot of people actually fall in this middle gray area where they're not sure what to believe now. That based on this outcome of the trial, that he is not guilty, legally of doing these things because of self-defense. There's actually saying there's a lot of people here that are like, well, then wait, what do I think about this? Hold on. I've got to marinate on this. I'm confused. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to think or how I'm supposed to feel. And that there's actually a lot more people in that category than what is being shown to us. That there's actually a lot more of people in that category, this confused middle ground category. There are people here. This is the sense of, I'm bummed out. I'm disappointed. I don't understand. But it's like, again, this indecision of being like, on one hand, I'm super disappointed and I'm mad and what the hell. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, but maybe this or maybe that, if they saw this or if they said that, based on video footage and this and this and that, then maybe, I don't know. And so there's just this weird conflicting energy here that I'm seeing among everybody that's kind of taking this in. And again, there are people that feel, extreme in one polar in one pole versus the other. There is that, but it's seeming like there's a lot of people that have this weird, like, tug of war going on internally about this. And they're bringing that up first and foremost, for whatever reason. We're following along to see where this is taking us. Over here with the Seven of Pentacles, this is a card that's kind of talking about something is a long time coming, a slow build of something. And when we're putting this here, this is like my hands are tied on what I can do. And the Knight of Pentacles here is slow and steady, but they reach their goal. So there's something about this that the guides are saying is a long time coming, a long time in the making. So something about this particular situation, the picture that they're giving me in my mind is, how do you put it? Like a climax point. So say something is building, and then boom, we hit this kind of climax point. It's like, this is a long time coming. This has been building for a long time, and now we're here. So it feels like they're saying that this particular case is not just about this particular case and, whether it was self-defense or not, and whether, they should have had this firearm or not, and, all this kind of stuff. They're kind of like, the details are not quite as important as the overall thing that this is representing. There's a certain, I don't know if I want to use the word symbolism, but there's some kind of a certain broader picture thing that this is representing that seems to be more of the point here that they're bringing out. And what they're putting here is, when we're seeing the Four of Swords, this is always about trying to soul search and go within and figure shit out on a deep level. And what we get on top of this, the Nine of Swords in reverse, this is a card that comes up when, I'm just gonna say it, look at it. This is not a great feeling card. This is anxiety, fears, sadness, all those kind of what we would consider quote unquote negative emotions wrapped up into one. And when we have it here in the reverse on top of this, sometimes that can mean these feelings going to the extreme. And so it's kind of highlighting the extreme here. What we're looking at is, again, that polling, that extreme, that building to a climax point. So they're saying that there's something here in this that's a long time coming, and that it's bigger than the actual case and issue here that they're wanting to get at. So I'm going to push these in, and I'm going to pull some more cards and see where they're going with this. All right, Spirit guys. Pull some more to see where you're going with this. Alrighty. Interesting. They once again give the Justice card, and y'all saw that the Justice card was on the bottom of the pile at the very beginning before I was shuffling, when I was just like, the tea with the tarot at the beginning. And that's pretty intense there for me to have seen that and noticed that and be like, oh, hold up. And here it is again. And y'all know I've shuffled the deck a bajillion times since I've been sitting here, especially as I was telling those disclaimers at the very beginning. But here we have the card again, and we have it in the upright position. So I'm just showing this. It's interesting to me that I'm seeing the Justice card upright, but the Hierophant card in reverse. Very weird. Y'all know the Hierophant card is standing for my institutions, governments, sometimes religious entities, things like that. It's very interesting that they're doing that. So I want, of course, a context card on each of these two. So one over here. Ooh, as I was shuffling, one flipped over in the deck, so I'm going to take that there. Okay, now is not the time to be OCD about card placements. Now is not the time. Okay, and so again, I repeat, this is all alleged. This is just my interpretation, and I am trying to do this with the utmost respect possible. So, what we're looking at here, Knight of Swords in reverse, again, that hamster wheel of like, what the hell is happening? This is a lot kind of thing. With this card being in reverse, and we've got the Hermit on top of it and the Magician card here, I'm just being honest when I say this. I'm just being honest. When people are asking this question about whether or not this is being politicized, there's some elements here to that are coming up. Now, what this is not saying is, oh, it's being politicized, shame on you, left or right for doing that. This is not pulling out a, oh, for shame on either one end of the spectrum here in the U.S. What this is showing, however, is, how do I put this? Oh, God, how do I put this? Let's put it this way. The Magician card has access to everything they need. They have access to everything they need. They are powerful. The Magician is a communications card. It's about messaging. Sometimes that means social media or media outlets like CNN or Fox or MSNBC or, whatever the hell these, all these entities are. ABC, NBC, News Nation, you got the picture, right? And so there, I'm trying, y'all, I'm trying. The Hermit card is a solo card. The Hermit is this one person, a solo person. So what they're showing here is there is some sort of thing here where it's like all out for myself, all out for me. What do I want to say? What's going to get my message across that I want to get across? So when I'm saying that this is being politicized, what this is looking like, again, they're not labeling right versus left here. They're showing that these people who have everything they need in their corner to do and say what they got to do, and they're communications experts, they are the people that communicate these things to us, that they are making decisions that are all out for themselves in what they want. Therefore, what this is looking like and feeling like to me, all alleged, just my interpretation, is that it would be saying that the news outlets that are, on the right-hand side are like, yes, I can use this to get across what I want to get across and say what's going to serve me well. And the people who are on the left side of things are like, yes, I can definitely use this to say what I want to get across, and so that I can use this to serve me well. We're getting that both sides are using this as a tool, potentially weaponizing this as a tool for their own benefit. And so there, to me, seems like both hands are dirty. And I've heard this expression used before, and it's what this is seeming to be. The expression of, right versus left are just two wings on the same bird. I've heard that expression before, and that's the picture that just came into my head as I'm saying this. So again, I'm not trying to start shit here. I'm not trying to say one side is better than the other, or both sides are good, or both sides are bad. I'm just trying to read the cards in the best way that I can and deliver here. And I am doing this with the trust that y'all will take in the comment section below, that y'all will have the same level of trying to be respectful and, trying to have good intentions here of not using the comment section as a war zone. And I right now am gonna give the mods full reign that if you see war zone material happening in the comment section, that you can take care of that. You can delete comments that are incredibly inappropriate in that way. If people are kindly expressing opinions, okay. We're allowed to have opinions one way or the other, and we're allowed to kindly express those. That's very important. But if we're getting extreme here, it's okay to nip that out. Just putting that in here, because that's what I'm not wanting to go for here Everybody here should be adults, can say what they want to say, need to say, feel to say in a way that's not an attack. That's important to me here. So, alrighty. So that's what I'm seeing here, and y'all see me struggling so much to find the right words, because I know the minute you say the wrong word when you're trying to word something well, you can get burned for that just because you say the wrong word. But think about how easy it is as you're just doing this with very limited or no editing to just say the right thing all the time. It's almost impossible. So I already know that, and I'm sorry if I can't do this perfectly, but I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing all sides using this for their own gain. And since we put this on the institutions, these are institutions, and these are also belonging to an institution. These are the mouthpieces for our system or systems. The government is a system, and the government oversees systems, and these are all a part of that. These are the mouthpiece for that, and this is in the reverse too. So it's kind of saying it's in a way all of it. It's a sick system is what it is what it's saying. Bottom row here. They're giving me the Justice card upright. You can take that to mean however the hell you want it to mean. They're giving it to me upright. They're giving me the Star card on top of that. And the Star card on top of that having to mean like this is the beginning of something new. Now, with it being the beginning of something new, we have these two reverse, 8 of Wands and Queen of Cups. And that is a little bit concerning to me. Just going to be honest. I feel like I'm going to cough and need some water. Oh, throat chakra, come through. Throat chakra, come through. The reason why these two cards are making me nervous is because this is also about a communication card. And this is about people's emotions and emotional well-being. And with these things being in reverse, this is kind of saying, this is bringing across a new era where people are going to be feeling like their voices are not heard and their feelings don't matter. And that to me is very concerning. That this is kind of setting a new beginning kind of for that. So with that, I just want to get a little bit of extra what they're trying to give me with that. You put it just here. Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. This is a card that sometimes talks about truths and feeling like we can't get truths out there and feeling like this environment is such that we can't get truths out there. So remember at the very beginning where it was saying that there's a lot of people that have a lot of internal like conflict over, well, what do I believe then? How am I supposed to feel about this? I don't understand. I don't really know how I should feel about this. It's so complicated and complex. Like, what the hell? And those people are looking to find out, well, then what are the answers? What is the truth? But then they look up here to find what are the answers and what is the truth. And every side here is using this to give their own messaging in the way that they want. So it's like, well, we can't lean on this for truth because if you tune into this side, they say this is the truth. And if you tune into this side, they say this is the truth. And so which the fuck is it? And so this is like, I'm so confused as to what the truth is. And not just, again, about this particular trial, but the truth in general of any messaging of any kind that we ever get from this. What is the truth? And then if I feel like my voices and stuff aren't going to be heard and my feelings are not taken into account, but I want to do something about this feels like I can't do anything about this, and I can't get the truth out there, and I can't get anybody else to get the truth out there, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. And so this is a sense of like this bubbling up then that I'm feeling as a result of this, a bubbling up. And so where they're going with this, where the spirit guides are going with this bubbling up, oh, Jesus, okay. We see this guy holding the world. He's holding the world in his hands, sandwiched between two wands, this versus this. We've talked about this on the channel before, about how things are, and I don't have it up here now, but remember the rubber band that I said you pull the rubber band and you stretch it so tight, and then what does it do? Bah! It snaps back to the other hand, because you've got these two polar opposites, and then boom, something's got to give in the middle. Remember how we've done readings in the past that have said that, and they have talked about this polarization and then snapping back in the middle and stuff like that. We've talked about that on this channel in multiple readings. Here we go. We're seeing this. We're seeing this playing out here. We're seeing that. And so you have these two ties, but the person who's holding the world is in the middle. In the middle. So, all right, let's see what else y'all are going to give me on this, spirit guides. Whew, Page of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like I can't even get this off the ground before it's even started. Oh, it's interesting. One side, I can't get this off the ground before it started. The other side over here, oh, but we're celebrating. Tower. This is a tower moment, y'all. This is the tower moment. We've gotten this in previous readings too, haven't we? In recent readings about the Tower card coming. Have we not gotten that recently, that the Tower card is coming? And this is crumbling down of what was so we can build up something new. So what this is feeling like, and I'm just putting this out there because I've mentioned this before in other videos as well, and this feels like it is an example of that. Is, remember in previous readings when I said there are going to be things that come up, like what this looks like it is, that makes us take a look at what we've got going on to the point that we feel like this is broken and we need to revisit this. Remember when I brought that up? Because I brought that up back in 2020 as COVID was coming down the pipeline. And remember how I was saying it looks like part of the silver lining, if you can have any silver linings, part of the silver lining from the COVID stuff is that it illuminated all the things that weren't working well and brought attention to those things that we needed fixings. It illuminated the inequity we have in school systems where there were kids that didn't have access to learning online but couldn't go learn in schools while schools were shut down physically. And so it made us address that. It made us address while healthcare stuff was getting shut down physically and we needed to use telehealth and telemedicine, and how do we make sure people have access to those types of services, and got that up and running. And you know, there's a whole host of things that it illuminated what was not going well and what needed attention to be better. And we were able to start working on those things as a collective. This is another one of those things in a broad sense. Remember, we're looking at this broadly. We're looking at this from the spirit guide's view. That's a bird's eye view from way up top without getting in the itty bitty little details and minutia, you know, without getting lost in the myopia, without missing the forest through the individual trees. This is them saying this is another one of those things, that how this happened has highlighted a lot of little things that aren't working well in, quote, the system that need to be addressed. Now, some people will mean, well, how that needs to be addressed is we need to be looking at these communications and these outlets, and we need to address how they present things and what they should be allowed to say and not allowed to say, and hold them accountable what they should do and shouldn't do. There's going to be other people that are like, this highlights that apparently in Wisconsin it's legal for someone that young to walk around on the streets with an AR and use a long gun on stuff. And I think that those laws need to be, amended through the legislature. And so some people might be working on that. There are going to be other people that are like, this highlights how if there were somebody sitting on the stand, if there was a Kyle Rittenhouse that was black, for instance, that do we think they would have had the same outcome in this trial as he did? Or do we think the outcome would have been different? And I feel like that needs to take a look at. There's going to be people that say that. And so there's lots of different pieces to this. Lots of different pieces. It doesn't look like it's just any one thing, because again, they're bringing it up broadly. They're giving me the tower. There's lots of pieces in this that they're saying highlight all the different ways that the system is ineffective or needs reform or is broken or is problematic, things that need to be seen and spoken about and addressed. And those components can now have their day, have their highlight, have their day. Just like with the stuff that came up when COVID hit, just like the stuff that came up when lots of these recent big things have been hitting, because we've had a lot of different big things happening, in the past, I'd say 2 years. People were saying with the election stuff, oh, this brings up that we really need to take a look at making sure elections are fair. With other things like, again, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here, but people like George Floyd and things like that, those situations that I don't know how much I'm allowed to say on here, people are like, that highlights that there's some things that we need to take a look at within law enforcement and within cultural issues and things of that nature. And so just taking this in a broad sense, again, we're talking broad here, all alleged, just my interpretation, that they're kind of saying, we need to zoom out, and this is showing us areas that could need improvement. And some people are gonna be like, well, I don't really care about those other areas, I just care about these. Well, okay, well, if you care about a certain one, maybe you're meant to be a part of whatever that piece is and work on that piece. Say you only care about this communications part, work on that. Say you only care about amending certain laws and stuff, work on that. Say you only care about cultural shift and changing to make things more fair and equitable, work on that, whatever. But I'm seeing those things come up as being highlighted to that end. So they're answering a lot of things in here. They're going a long way in here. I'm going to keep pulling a little bit more on this bottom one. But I also don't want to beat a dead horse in this. And I don't want to, again, make this feel like I'm coming out and doing or saying any particular thing. I'm just a girl reading her cards and doing the best I can with what I've got, knowing that I'm intimidated as fuck to do this reading in the first place publicly, and knowing that I don't want to create a shit show in the comments, because I respect the community that we've built here, and I want the community to respect one another. And that is incredibly important to me. And I feel like everybody's voices can be heard while still having respect. That's important. So, all right, a little bit more here. All right, the Fool card. Carpe diem. Fucking jump for it. Take the leap. Jump. Go for it. And so this is a diving board, a jumping pad, a launch pad, however you want to call it, for these things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. This was a long build, and finally things are just like, boom, we have to address this. This can't go unaddressed any longer. It's like we've been thinking about it and thinking it and thinking it. We've been unhappy with it and unhappy with it and unhappy with it. And finally, this just was the straw that broke the camel's back, and we've got to do something about it this time. And that's what we're seeing here. That's what we're seeing here, that this is a catalyst for a new a new direction, or for I guess, more spotlights on this movement moving forward. So, pretty big deal here. There are some things that are going to be outside of our control, but we are to move forward on it anyway. There are some relationships that could be broken, some bridges that could be burned, some things that could come up that it feels like us versus them or things like that. But when I get this kind of card here, this gives me a reminder about how sometimes there are, let's just take romantic relationships, for example. Let's say it's, these two people in a romantic relationship together. Sometimes people in these circumstances will break up because they made a problem. You're bad or you're bad. I'm right or you're wrong or whatever like that, rather than seeing it as the two of us in the relationship together against this problem. Instead, they made one of them be the problem and one of them be the solution. They made one of them be right and one of them be wrong. And what they're saying here is if we fall into that trap, we're going to trip ourselves up. We're going to trip ourselves up. If it's the two of us together, all sides together for a main thing, whatever way we can find. We may see things differently. We may think the outcome should be different. We may have all kinds of differing beliefs, but which beliefs do we hold that we all agree on? And start there. Okay, if we all agree that what we want is this, how do we get there? And what kind of concessions can we make to make sure that we get there and on the same page, so that it's us together in the relationship working to solve a problem rather than us making one or the other the problem. So, this is a lot, y'all. This is a lot. This is their messenger card dropping down a message. So let's see. What message? Dropping down a message. What's the message y'all want to drop? Y'all want to drop. Boom. Boom. This is their mic drop moment. This is their mic drop moment. Look at this. Look at this. This card is about balance because we have the scales. This card is about caring for people and considering people and giving to people and thinking about the collective needs over your own personal agendas or needs. This is a charitable card that's all about balance. And that's what they're trying to bring. We have the two poles here. Remember, we talk about the two poles, the two sides of the rubber band, and something's got to give and pull them in the middle. They're urging for us to balance the scales and to think about the collective and to grow outside of our own, again, myopic, limited, tainted perspective and expand so that we can see this broader thing and get with this program. This is a very charitable card. Get with the program, get with the collective. This is their moment that they're trying to say here. So y'all, if you want a private reading with me, Beast Talks and Tarot, it's in the description box below. You can book a private reading with me. I've also got my merch and things like that. Love you mean it, because I love you mean it, which is why I don't want vitriol and bullshittery in the comment section below, because I love y'all mean it, and I want y'all to love you mean it to your fellow community members here. We can all have a voice, and we can use our voice constructively. So, anywho, y'all, this was a big one. This was a long one. I'm sweating. Don't know how this is going to work out. If I try to upload this and YouTube blocks it from being uploaded some type of way, then you may not be seeing this on main YouTube. You might be seeing this on the Perk Squad or on a Patreon or something like that. I don't know. It depends on what YouTube's going to allow me to do versus not do. I don't know, but I'm just going to try to get this message out here. I tried my best with this. I did what the spirit guides were leading me to do. I feel like this was their final ending card. I feel like this reading has come to a close, and I hope that you just know my heart and my spirit and how I'm doing this, and that's all I can say, and that's all I can do. It's out of my hands now. So alrighty, y'all, don't be a stranger, come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, y'all. Someone broke the dog. Normal child. Weirder child, because he's in here. Weirdest child.
Look at the thing.
Buddy, are you okay? Are you in there? Weirdest child eating his flaming hot whatever the hell's. Well, thank you for coming out, Scoot, except for you're still veiled. Ooh, we see you. You don't know how to dog.